Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Desjardins. I'm here with my colleague, Catherine Gagnon. We are both from the PIPS mobilization team here at the head office. We just wanted to thank you very much for joining us today, and we're excited to be able to look at our Better Together action site with you. So before we begin, I just wanted to review a little bit about the WebEx audio and chat instructions for those of you who aren't familiar with using WebEx. So our audio is being provided through the webinar service. To reduce background noise and to ensure the quality of the audio for your fellow participants, we have muted all participant lines. If you'd like to ask a question or make a comment, open the chat tab in WebEx. All right, so let's get to the chat tab. Select the chat bubble button on the bottom center of your screen. This will cause the chat box to appear on the right-hand side of your screen. Select Ask a Question from the drop-down recipient list menu. Enter your question and hit Send. Remember, folks, you need to ask a question to mobilization team. If not, we will not be able to see your questions or comments. So once again, to use the chat function, please select the chat bubble button in the bottom center of your screen. Once that pops up, select Ask a Question, and don't forget to ask the mobilization team your questions. For the folks who are logging in on mobile, it's a little bit similar, but instead you click the menu on the top right-hand corner, you select Ask a Question, and then you direct your question to the mobilization team. So you enter your question and then you hit Send. All right, if you are having any issues with that whatsoever, Catherine is on the texting portion of the chat. So please send her your comments, or if you're having issues seeing the screen or looking at us, Catherine is happy to respond. All right. So once again, Catherine and I are super excited to be able to share this piece with our most active and prolific members. The goal for today is to provide you with everything you will need to know about the toolkit so that you can start using it and be able to benefit from the different resources it provides. And then you can encourage your fellow colleagues and activists in the workplace to use it as well. I just wanted to do a quick review of the objectives for today. We're going to look at the toolkit. We're going to look a little bit about how it'll help you. We're going to do an overview of the action site page. We're going to review the funding requests for the events. So we did do a little bit of changes to the way the funding requests are done, and they're all done online. So we're going to do a quick review of that. We're going to do a quick review of how to access materials for your events. Catherine is going to look at the different types of events you can host, and then she'll talk to you a little bit about how you can help members get involved. Start the conversation by asking you to think about a time in the past that you had volunteered for a PIPS event. What was your experience? Were you equipped to host the event? Did you feel out of place? Did you feel like there wasn't enough information? So please take a minute to think about that. Now, is anyone willing to share their experience with the others? If you are, please add your name to the chat box on the top right-hand corner of the screen. We'll be able to add you to the list, and then once we call out your name, we can unmute your line. Or if you're feeling a little shy, you can definitely just send us a text, a text in the chat box, and I'll be able to read them aloud. So who do we have? We have a member, and they said that they had done a lunch and learn, but they did feel that they were not equipped enough to host it. Okay, they're writing a bit more. They're saying that they were missing information on how to actually host the event. And oh, right, that's right, the funding request. Perfect. So those are actually items we're going to touch on a little later, but thanks so much for sharing that. That's really great. And I think that by this member's comments, we can really agree that hosting an event or even volunteering for an event doesn't always necessarily pan out the way we've intended. I'd like to prepare you as much as possible and to remind others that the purpose of a PIPS event is really listed on your screen. So a so like a Better Together mobilization event is really to increase support in the workplace. We want to reinforce PIP's strategic objectives and increase engagement towards the culture of solidarity. So we really all want to be working together towards one goal. We definitely want to support campaigns. And we also want to increase visibility in the workplace. We want to let the employer know that we stand together because we all know that there is power in numbers. Folks, on your next screen, see a snapshot of the toolkit page on the action site. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the page live for you, but we do encourage you to take a look at it after we're done with the presentation. So the URL is on the top left-hand side. It's action.pips.ca/toolkit. We've actually The idea behind the toolkit is to have a space filled with important resources that folks can use to host an event. Really try to make the page simple and accessible and easy to navigate. So that's why we've only created 3 areas to which members can navigate. As you can see on your screen, Catherine will get into each of those areas in a little bit. So like I said, the purpose is to have an easy place with all of the materials, and we're hoping that you will take the time to look at this when we're done our presentation. So if we're talking about the first icon, the Better Together funding request icon, we've sort of revamped the funding approval process. We've made it available digitally so that folks can obviously request their funding sooner so that the approval can get done sooner. But what you see on our screen is the ideal timeline for an approval request. So requests that are done for a meeting are ideally done 4 weeks prior to your event. Sorry, not your meeting, your event or activity. And 4 weeks prior, it is received by mobilization through the online request form. The requester is reviewed by the team lead of mobilization and then the appointed staff delegate and regional director. And the approval is also done within those 7 days. We hope, hopefully, we do endeavor to make that as quick and as painless as possible. And ideally, you will receive your approval 3 weeks prior so that you can start organizing your event. So we do understand that events are sometimes often last minute. Perhaps you're going to piggyback on another group's or another affiliate event. We do understand that funding requests might not happen ideally within these 4 weeks. However, we do encourage you to perhaps, as much as possible, pre-plan your year. Perhaps in January and February, you'll be able to set out your events for the year, and you can actually request approval for the funding at that time, so that once you host your event in June, all you have to do is send in your claims and you'll be able to get reimbursed. At the bottom of the page, we do want to ask folks to remember that there are many benefits of cost sharing your event. And, not only does it lead to solidifying relationships within the community that you're working with, it also can build relationships between yourself and your branch, your group executive, and so forth. It harnesses a great way to be able to work together because, we're always better together. All right, I will give the mic over to Kat, and I hope you enjoyed the first portion of this training.
Andrea, hi everyone. As mentioned earlier, this is Catherine Gagnon from the mobilization team. We're just going to continue going through the toolkit itself. So what else did we find there? There's materials to support your campaign, and there's event resources. Here in mobilization, we often run events. We run events with members. We run different campaign events, and we use all these tools to sort of help us out during the process. Well, we figured we might as well share those tools with our most active members, right? So in there, you're going to find a budget template, which is really useful, especially if you're doing a funding request, an event checklist, right, to make sure that you and your volunteers have all the things that you need for your event. a planning template to help you plan the event as well, an attendance sheet. An attendance sheet is very important for the reason that helps with volunteer recruitment. If you get into the habit of having an attendance sheets for all of your activities and all of your meetings, you can definitely identify a pattern of folks who like to attend. Next time, you might ask one of a person who attended a few events to help you with the registration list, or to help you submit the funding request form, or to help you order the materials. You're one person, right? And as Andrea's saying, I mean, it might sound a little tacky, but we are better together. And an attendance sheet is a great recruitment tool to see who has interest in your area for union activities. An event poster template. If you want to host, sorry about that. If you want to host a lunch and learn in your office, a coffee break, there's an event poster template that you can use, you can download, you can modify to promote the event in your workplace. The toolkit also includes event ideas, right? It's just a little box of different kind of events that you can do. You can host information tables. I mean, some things you're allowed to host information tables in the lobby or in common. Those are a great way to speak to the membership about an ongoing campaign or ongoing ratification vote or current negotiations. There's community events that you can also attend. I mean, we have folks who created a cycling group in Quebec, and that sort of community event can definitely promote the union in the workplace and foster some good relationships within the community and inform a little more the public of what unions actually do. And learn presentations are very popular amongst our membership. Leafleting. Leafleting is a great way to send a message. If there's you can be outside of your office and deliver, whether it's a bargaining update or current campaign messaging, you can definitely do that through leafleting. Organize coffee breaks. Let's say that you have, 3, 4 new members in your workplace and you're an active member. You can organize coffee breaks to welcome them to the union and welcome them to the public service or the office. Mentorship events, as I mentioned, and we know that the geographics of our union is a majority of our active members are going to be retiring in the next 10 years. So it's really important to host these mentorship events, help you recruit volunteers for your future events. A sports tournament. In the NCR, we have a multi-union with PIPSC volleyball and badminton tournament that's been going on for 3 years. That works great, fosters great relationships, and at the same time allows us to have conversations with members about the union. LGBTQ2 plus events. This year we had a presence at Pride in every region, so we're very proud of that. Equity events, anything around human rights. For example, on November 20th coming up, there is the Transgender Remembrance Day. That's something definitely, if you'd like to organize, join somebody in the community for a vigil or organize a minute of silence in your workplace. Those are the type of events that you can do through the Better Together Toolkit. Can help members get involved, promote the toolkit. Go back to your executive and show them the toolkit and the tools that you've learned today. Use and share the outreach materials and templates. When you go on the toolkit, most of these materials are downloadable. So send them to your executive, send them the link to the BT toolkit, and let's make sure that our members have as many resources as possible. Mentor someone. That's very important. Digital surveys. The data that we get from that is very important for the union's strategic goals. It also allows us to see who has what level of interest. And you can ask us to come and speak to your event. We're based in the NCR, so of course that can be harder in the regions, but we've done WebEx events for members before remotely. You're assisting to a WebEx presentation today. As long as you have a screen and projector in the meeting room that you want to use, you can have a member of the mobilization team present the content. Because let's be real, some folks are great organizers, some folks are not really organized, love public speaking, some organizers hate public speaking. We all have our strength, right? But the mobilization team is definitely here to assist you in ensuring your events are successful. All right, so it's your turn. Start thinking about it, thinking about planning your next activity, thinking about promoting the site as well, right? We're going to be sending you the link through the chat box and also in a follow-up email. Therefore, start promoting the sites amongst your membership. And most importantly, we want your feedback. If there's anything that you think we should add, if you have any suggestions, recommendations, if you have any tools that you use, please feel free to provide us the feedback. Andrea is going to send everybody who's participating on the call a feedback form. What we're asking members to do is to start thinking about your next activity, promote the site, and really think how the Better Together toolkit helps you plan that activity and what else we can add in there to make it more useful and successful to our members. All right, now I'm going to pass it to Andrea to see if we have any questions. I hope everyone has a lovely day.
Thanks, Catherine. That was super great. All right, let's go to the chat box. Don't forget that if you would like to reach us, you have to actually send your chat to mobilization team. If not, we are unable to access your questions or comments. So we're going to wait for another few minutes. We'll see if everyone or anyone would like to suggest something. I don't see anything come through, and because I know that we promised a quick activity, a quick meeting with you folks, I think we can wrap it up. You can reach us. Our information is on the screen. You can, I'm pretty sure that you know Catherine's email, but it's cgagnon@pips.ca, and then mine is on the screen. So we'd be happy to answer any follow-up questions. I will be following up with an email, and you can definitely ask your questions there. Seeing anything else, I think that we can definitely wrap this up. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who took the time during their lunch break to join us.